start whenever it becomes like convenient, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't want to startle you.
Oh, I'm like prepared. I'm
You're
already startled.
oh good, that's good, because we're already talking about this. So we got single mom here, and we've tried to record this video a couple times. We've run into technical issues, which are all my fault. So you know, fuck me. Single mom's gonna be a guest star here every once in a while, and I'm using headphones as a speaker because you know I'm cool like that. Speak,
Hello, hello.
good slave,
Sound check. Good slave.
good slave.
Usually the term is prisoner.
There you go, prisoner, politically correct. Okay, so this time we should have plenty of light on this video, which we didn't have last time, which is why it sucked. One more triple driver on ears. I've already reviewed their baby brother, the one more triple driver in ears, which actually I bought single mom as a present for Christmas.
Yep, the little buds, right?
Yep, the little buds.
Oh, I love them.
Those were your favorite headphone when you listened to all the ones I had at that time about a year ago.
They're dangerous. Like when I was listening to that, one of my EDM songs, it just felt like I was melting into the chair.
There you go. And
They were nice.
I personally think these are better. These are the big brother. Personally.
So,
He disagrees. But that's okay. So, these I bought about 2 years ago when I graduated college, and this was what got me to understand that audio could be better. Up until then, I had been using Sony MDR 10RBTs, which were good. They were fine. Don't get me wrong. But they were not amazing. I got them for free as a gift, and these were the first headphones I really bought myself. And at that time, that was a big investment because they were about $200 or $180, which was on sale from I think $250. But at that price point, there's very little that competes. The only one I can think of is the Sony MDR 1As, which you asked me before in the last video. Headphones, I think, would be a step up from these. And in build and comfort, I would say the 1As, the Sony MDR 1As, are a step up. But in musicality, I don't think they beat these. If you wanted to step up in musicality, you could probably start worrying about Sennheisers, like the higher end of the 600 line. But these are built with basically all pleather and metal. Metal cups, metal backs with a little glass cover over the radiator, which we'll talk about. Metal forks, metal bending hinges to make this fold up nice and small. Pleather pads with not memory foam, but a relatively soft foam. Pleather tops with a pretty decent, a little bit stiffer foam. They weigh a little bit. They're not the lightest. The 1As are extremely light. These are heavy for a dynamic, I would say. But they're also in a nice, compact, highly well-built form factor, so I don't worry about it. But if you have a tendency to dislike heavier headphones, you may not like these. If you also have a tendency to dislike on-ears, which I do, you may also have a problem. My comfort issue with these is exclusively that my left ear is shaped a little oddly, and so after about 40 minutes, these become hard to wear. I do it though because these are very much worth it. Single mom, you've worn these before. Do you remember how they felt to you?
really soft, really comfortable. Thinking of buying them myself after this review, so
Yeah, so it's different. I also have another friend who also loves on-ear more than any other style of headphone. I am much more of an over-ear person. Most of the things I own are over-ear. These are pretty much, other than some cost things, these are the only on-ears I really have because they're worth it. Like, they're so worth it. But I admit, if you have a major issue with the comfort, I could understand you not wanting these. They have an interesting design on the back, which is based off of a Maserati wheel. Which you either hate or love, but you gotta kind of admit, it's kind of cool.
stylish.
Exactly. And they have, this one is a nice black and silver style. There was a black and gold, I believe, for limited time, which is the same style as the triple driver in-ears, which is what Single Mom has. But I like, oddly enough, I like the silver and black more on these and the gold and black more on the in-ear. Because reasons, I don't know. My eyes are weird. I need them checked.
Oh, the silver is pretty
It is
nice.
pretty nice. The right and left indicators are a big R and L in the middle of the cups. So if you can't read that, I think you need to go back to kindergarten. And then a red ring and a white ring over the individual connectors, where these are then 2.5 millimeter inputs, which means these could run balance if you find a cable that'll run them. There might be some hi-fi man, I think, that you could find for these. But then they go from a rubberized cable down to a little metal split, which has this kind of, this and the cups share a kind of ribbed effect that make them have a little scratchy noise, but they actually feel rather nice. Then to a braided cable, which is not particularly long. They're actually pretty much the perfect size. I like, this is about the right, I'd say this is about 5 feet, which is perfect for both desktop listening and mobile listening. It's like 5 feet is the length every cable should be, at least standard.
5 feet, so what, like a fifth of the length of those monoprice ones you were.
Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
It's like 40, 50 foot cable.
Insane cable. I believe. Yep. Okay. I believe that this was the properly matched quarter-inch adapter they came with. Nice gold adapter, similar to ones I've had on other phones. Normal 3.5. This has, I believe, 32 ohm resistance with a pretty good decibel rating, so you could definitely drive these off of your phone, and I have. But they like power. Putting them into an amp definitely makes them come more alive. Musically, these are very V-shaped. So they have really, really good bass and really, really good highs, which is basically down to the topology of these. Where behind that glass, I said they had a radiator. These have a passive radiator, which is a non-powered driver, which reflects back bass as a bass reflector in response to the movement of the main driver, which is a passive radiators are a thing we get on sometimes on speakers, not often on headphones, but it's a very specifically weighted diaphragm that has no active magnet or electrical structure behind it. It only reflects in a synchronous fashion to the movement of the pressure from the main driver, which they have a normal main dynamic driver in the center. So that's 2 drivers if you count the passive. Then there's another driven driver, an actual powered driver, in this little perforation right pointing at your ear canal at the front. Which is a very, very small ceramic tweeter, which takes over the very, very high notes. So that's what makes this V shape, where these bass reflectors really make kick-ass bass. Like kick-ass bass. EDM sounds amazing on these. I'm pretty sure Single Mom can attest to that.
Lindsay Sterling, her violin.
Yeah. Yep. So kick-ass EDM, pretty good. Deep orchestral stuff can do really well on this. Really, really good highs, like some opera, like Pavarotti, or the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Sounds really, really good on this. So it makes that V shape, which is very, very good for musicality. I've noticed in headphones and speakers that V shape I think is the best for a musical experience. Not best for analysis. I would not mix or master on these, but I definitely would listen to these as my wow factor headphone. Of all the headphones and speakers I have, which is several,
What's that?
several. I own a lot. I get it. If I have people come over, such as Single Mom, or my other friends who have only heard things like Beats, or what are you using besides the one words I got you?
Oh god, these like off-brand ones from Walmart. They're like 10 years old. They're all plastic.
Yeah.
Probably $30.
People who've heard those, if I wanted to bring down the most analytical headphones, I wouldn't bring these down. Like the most audiophile, that's not what these are. But if I want the most wow, the like, hey guys, music can sound like this, I would bring these down. These have the most wow factor to them. They have fast response to the music. They aren't slow. Their soundstage is just enough, not amazing. These are not. You're not gonna have the soundstage of an open, airy headphone because these are very closed. They have very good noise isolation to them for being closed back on ear. But you have enough soundstage that you feel like sounds can come from an inch or two outside the cups, and a pretty decent resolution in the middle. So pretty good imaging. You could play games on these if you wanted to. There are better at the price, but you definitely could play games on these. But I would say these are much more of a musical headphone than a gaming headphone. So honestly, of all the closed backs I have, these are the ones I would recommend probably the most. And except with the caveat of you have to like on ear. If you can't stand on ear, my next recommendation would be the 1R or the Sony MDR 1As. But if you can do on ear instead of over ear, these are the best. For 180, $200 for the most just wow factor that you could drive without an amp and a DAC, without anything, just plug them into your phone, into your computer's output, whatever you need to just immediately jump up your audio experience, your musical experience without breaking the bank and without needing a bunch of equipment to drive it. I would say these are the best bet that I can think of right now for the money.
Maybe going forward, we can have like a ranking system, 1 out of 10 for comfort, design, value, that sort of thing. Something like that.
That's the thing we could do. We'll have to calibrate that, but we can think about that. I will compare these. I'll try and compare headphones to each other, and we'll think about a ranking system. You guys can let me know.
Any quick rankings before the end of the video for these guys out of 10?
I'd say build, with 10 being the best. I'd say 8 or 9 for build. The only better built headphones I have are my M560s. Comfort, I'd say, is for me a 6 out of 10. But I could see them being a 7 or an 8 depending on the person. But for me, it's a 6 because they hurt my left ear. For sound, I would say is an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Not for mastering level, but for flavor, I would say an 8 or 9. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with this beautiful Maserati wheel.